All right, let's get into it. You've definitely heard Alan Walker's Faded, right? It's this massive global hit. But what if I told you there's this incredibly haunting story hidden just beneath the surface, right there in the lyrics? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Right out of the gate, the song just hits you with this question: where are you now? And, it's so simple, but it's loaded with so much more than just, well, asking where someone is. You can feel the loss, the confusion. It's a desperate plea. And that one line, it basically sets up the entire emotional roller coaster we're about to go on. Okay, so let's really dive into this first part, the haunting question. This is all about setting up that central mystery of loss and this desperate search. Yeah, this is absolutely not a casual, hey, where you at text. No way. This question echoes through the entire song, right? It's this deep, nagging ache for someone who was like the center of the narrator's universe, and now they're just gone, vanished. So, to really get why this loss feels so heavy, we have to look back at the memories of what they actually had. And what we see is this incredible play of shadow and light. And this is the core metaphor of the whole relationship, isn't it? You were the shadow to my light. Now, at first you might think, shadow sounds kind of negative, but that's not it at all. Think about it. You can't have a shadow without light. They're totally dependent on each other. It's this beautiful, symbiotic image of two people who were so intertwined, they literally defined one another. And then there's this line. Wow. Under the bright but faded lights, you set my heart on fire. It's so vivid, you can almost see it, a moment of absolute passion. But did you catch that one little word? Faded. That's everything. It tells you that this incredible memory, it's losing its color. It's becoming distant, like an old photograph. So what you end up with is this huge, jarring contrast, right? The past was all fire and passion and light, and the present, just emptiness, a silent search. And that memory of how good it was, that's what makes the where are you now feel so desperate. All right, so the search outside isn't working, so what happens next? The journey turns inward. We're going for a deeper dive into the narrator's own mind. And this whole inward journey starts by rejecting the easy stuff. The lyrics talk about shallow waters and how that was never what I needed. Basically, the narrator gets it. Just paddling around on the surface of their memories isn't going to cut it. It won't bring any real answers. And what's really cool here is that this isn't something that just happens to them. It's a choice, a deliberate act. They say, I'm letting go, and that leads to this deeper dive. They are willingly plunging themselves into the deep end of their own mind, into what the song calls the eternal silence of the sea. So they're down there, in this deep, isolated, silent place. And you'd think that would be terrifying, right? But something totally unexpected happens. They feel breathing. Alive. It's this incredible idea that the real truth, even if it hurts, isn't up in the shallows. It's way down in the depths. But this is where everything changes. That clarity they find, it leads to a totally horrifying new thought. The whole story just takes this sharp, devastating turn. So after all that, after diving deep and finding some kind of truth, this question pops up. Was it all in my fantasy? I mean, think about that. Suddenly, they're not just questioning the memories. They're questioning reality itself. And then comes the knockout punch. Were you only imaginary? Wow. That's the climax right there. The whole story just flips on its head. It's not about looking for someone who's gone anymore. It's a full-blown crisis. Was this person, this whole shadow to my light thing, was any of it ever real to begin with? So you see how the pain completely changes? It's not about missing someone anymore. It's the absolute terror of realizing you might have been completely, totally alone the whole time. That all of it, the fire, the light, was just made up in their own head. The loneliness is just profound. And that terrifying thought brings us to the end. The final state of being for our narrator, fading away. And here it is. The title of the song becomes the narrator's actual reality. They say, so lost, I'm fading. It's not just a cool song title anymore. It's literally what's happening to them. Because without this person, whether they were real or not, their own sense of self, their identity is just dissolving. So the search doesn't end with them finding the person or even finding an answer. It ends with the narrator themselves falling apart. And that really hits on the song's core message, doesn't it? We tie so much of who we are to other people. But what happens when you find out that connection might have been a fantasy? Well, the foundation of who you are just crumbles. And in the end, Faded doesn't really give us any easy answers. It just leaves us with this big, haunting question to chew on. When a memory fades, does a part of us fade too? It's all about that blurry line between who we remember and who we are, and what's left when that line disappears completely. Something to think about, for sure.